It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, here we go. Back at it. Big Monday. Rothman and Ice, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes to my right. The loose cannon behind the glass. How was the weekend, fellas?
Fellas, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. A lot of consumption of just sports overall and what a sports weekend we had. So, yeah, I'm doing pretty well over here. How was your weekend, my guy?
Great time.
Yeah.
Great time. Spring game festivities and the weather, while it was a little cool, we've had spring games where people come out sunburned. So I feel like having that be a little fallish into spring, no rain, all that was just about perfect with the sun shining. So we were out there, and it was a great time. It was. I'm not going to lie. I was unimpressed with the attendance. 40,000? Now, I've lived here a long time, and I remember when you wanted spring games to be like a real game. You wanted them to be like, can we get 100,000? Because you know why? Because then on Sports Center, they start comparing spring game to spring game, and look who had the most, and they must care the most and all that. I'm kind of over that part of it because I don't think you need to have some sort of win the scoreboard on attendance anymore. Maybe back in the 90s or pre-internet, it was like kind of like the thing. There's just so much for people to do now, and here's what may hurt the most. The people that can afford to go to the games, go to the games. The people that maybe can't, go to the spring game. And so the people that know it's televised, I can DVR it. It runs kind of against each other. And I'm wondering if that hurts it a little bit. But it was a fun event, but you cannot deny that 40,000 is not what we're used to.
Yeah, it was light. It was light. I thought that they would definitely get about 70 or 80 in there. Maybe that was a hair high.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit.
You know, like you said, it could be so many different reasons for
pick one.
Individual people, families, like whatever it is. Maybe it's a little bit of that Pro Bowl vibe to where you know you're going to a football game, but you're not really getting exactly what you want in a true feel of a football game. But that did surprise me when we get to fall, when we get to week 1 against Texas. I don't know how much we're going to be talking about that. I don't know how much people are really talking about it nationally right now. But I think where we are and where we do radio and how supportive we know Buckeye Nation can be, to only see 40,000 when to your point, weather was fine. Wasn't freezing cold. Wasn't blazing hot. Partly cloudy. Seemed like a nice day out there. To only have 40K in the house definitely was a little bit of some sticker shock going on. But overall, it wasn't about the attendance. It was about what we were going to see on the field.
Yeah, listen, like I said, it's televised. Yeah. And people got things to do. People are busier than ever. Or they want to be busier than ever. They don't want to be in one place. It's kind of a big family day, the spring game. You know, $8 and all that. The kids free. And it's good. I'm kind of glad that it wasn't overly packed. It made it easier. Parking's free. That's a big deal. That's a big deal when it's $30 on a Saturday.
Yeah, that's real.
And then you're adding programs and food and drink and all to the equation and fuel to get there. So it's a big deal. And we know where sporting events are now in the disposable income world. It's competing with entertainment everywhere. And concerts, all that stuff, plays, it competes. And it's on the same level. But so when you get past that, the only reason I brought it up is it kind of came across my timeline. And so it made me feel like, okay, some people care. And I don't think they care that it was, whether it was 60 or 70, I think they care that it was lower than they expected. It just was, you're honoring the national championship team. I don't think we sensed it. I think that's why it came as a little bit of a surprise. But you're right. It was more about, did they come out of that Saturday knowing more than they already know? And maybe Ryan Day did get a feel of, you heard it in that soundbite with Bake on the Sports Center at the top of the hour. I do think he's tempted by Lincoln. I do. I think he believes, it's just my humble belief, that Sane is the better thrower of the football. That he is the guy that has that talent that Lincoln has to kind of level up too. Because what I saw out of Lincoln, who got the first chance right away, was outside the numbers, no real pressure, just the horizontal throws. Let's play action out. And he's a little high on both of them. Now, maybe he's a little juiced up because when Jeremiah Smith can't get to a ball, then you know you're probably a little high. But on 3rd and 6, when there's coverage, he can take off. And he's got that going for him. We're saying is a guy that we saw a lot of, which was, and they mentioned on the broadcast, Yogi and Jake both hit this. This is a 6-foot guy having to slide in the pocket to create some passing lanes. And when you saw that Jason Moore, who's 6'6", working against Van Sickle, when he has to slide to create an angle and Moore gets a finger on that, that's also part of this, that Lincoln's a bigger dude, 3-4 inches taller. So I think that this thing is, I wouldn't call it wide open. I still think coming out of spring that Sane will be the guy. But I now know what he's seen. Because I know a lot of people mad here saying, oh, this all neck and neck. He knows. He kind of knows. But he has to kind of now filter in more tiebreakers. Talent, trust, fans, pressure. No, they weren't blitzing yesterday. These quarterbacks weren't facing that kind of pressure. So how does he simulate that moving forward? And then who does he go with? I thought that certainly when that ball comes out of Julian's hands, you know
he's got special arm talent. Yeah, he's got a special arm talent, and that's what we heard from some of the players that are, now former players that got to see Julian on a regular basis, is that the dude can spin it. He absolutely can spin it. But you zoom out from Julian, you just look at that quarterback room as a whole, and with, the inexperience there with Tavion, and he looked the part as a true freshman. That's perfectly fine. But when we talk about Julian, when we talk about Lincoln, both these guys, I believe, will be capable of moving the offense in a positive direction if they are the guy. You look at the skill sets of both, there's definitely appeal to what Lincoln can do as far as getting out of the pocket, making noise there, but also staying in the pocket and doing his thing there. Julian, on the flip side of that, may be more of your traditional, hey, I'm going to hurt you more times than not in the pocket. And you saw both those guys distribute the rock to their playmakers the way that they wanted to, regardless of who the guy is. They got to learn from Will Howard. You don't need to be Superman in this offense. There's all the other Avengers around you that can take care of you as a quarterback. And we hear Coach Day talk all the time about make the routine play routinely. He was saying the same thing a year ago with a veteran quarterback. So that's the job. That's what they have to focus on. I think this thing still is open between both of them. They're going to have to grind this thing out through the rest of the summer, early portions of fall. And just when you get 1 week, I believe 2 weeks out from that game against Texas, you want to have a guy. That way he knows, the locker room knows who they're going to follow, and the offensive play calling and all that stuff can come into focus to really put the offense as a whole in best positions possible, regardless of who the guy is. So both guys I thought looked pretty good, AR. We talked all last week. You don't want to overreact too much to any of what we saw on Saturday because it's one scrimmage. It's one big-time practice on a bigger stage, no doubt. But there's so many other practices and reps that went into the spring prior to what we saw on Saturday.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice little battle in Ryan Day's head and with Brian Hartline about that first game because you don't have a preseason to find out which guy's going to break the tie under the lights against competition. You're going to know right out of the gate who's ready for it and who's not. And I'm not here to tell you that he's going to play musical quarterbacks. I don't think that's going to happen. But what you got out of two guys with little experience was a chance to be showcased with also seeing where they are from an accuracy standpoint. Because if you're not blitzing and you're not getting home necessarily like a real game, then you better be pretty decent. It's not throwing on air. I get that. There are guys covering guys, and you want to create chemistry, and it is only spring. But for those great throws you got out of Julian where he hit Max right down the seam, there was a blown coverage there. Nobody went with him. So I'd hope you'd hit him. And then when Mylan Graham, who cooked Scott out of that quick out near the goal line, and he doesn't lob it, he overthrows him. And that's a wide-open touchdown. And then you see him from 23 yards from fingertips to Carnell Tate. You're like, wow, that's a throw. That's 23 yards on a line, and he hits him. So there is some precision there. I like the way guys ran a little play action. But the lean coming out of spring, I think, stays the same for me. It's Julian saying. He didn't do anything to make us question him too much on Saturday, and Lincoln didn't do anything to question him, but he also didn't look like the best guy on the field. And then, it's obviously too bad that Tavian St. Clair throws that pick that's almost a pick six. He knows he's got to let that ball go before that guy turns. Before he breaks, that ball's got to be in the air. If you wait for that guy to turn and then throw, that's the easiest route to jump. So I think the pecking order, Matty,
probably still
ironically, is kind of right where it is for me.
I agree.
We'll break it down further. You'll hear more from Coach Day. We'll get into, obviously, another massive story from the weekend, Rory's revenge, and the most unlikely way to win it. That's next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Ever wonder where your go-to maintenance person gets the metal products they need to fix yours and everyone else's problems? The best in the business go to Metal Supermarkets for their wide variety of metal products and shapes to tackle projects from simple to complex. Metal Supermarkets is your source for all metals cut to size and ready fast. No minimum order with maximum service. Visit the family-owned franchise on North Wilson Road or at Columbus at metalsupermarkets.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and, of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
For over 78 years, our family's been part of your love stories. At Diamond Seller, we offer bigger diamonds, better prices, and timeless designs for every chapter of your life. From your first yes to your forever I do, trust the jeweler who knows diamonds best. Visit Diamond Seller today.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here from my friends at High Bank Distillery Co., located right here in Columbus. Introducing their newest product, 614 Vodka, Ohio's house vodka. Perfect to make a drink at home or try when you're out at your favorite local restaurant. Learn more at 614vodka.com.
Your home is more than just four walls and a roof. It's where life happens, where memories are made, where family gathers, and where you should feel safe. At Newman Roofing, we know that when it's time for a new roof, you want to feel confident that you've hired the right company, one that will install a quality roof and complete the work as promised. But with so many roofing companies out there, how do you know which one to trust? For over 30 years, Newman Roofing has helped more than 7,500 families protect their homes with quality roofing, gutters, and siding. We believe you deserve a company that provides a white glove customer experience, one that pays attention to every detail and treats your home like it's our own. At Newman Roofing, we're not just another roofing company. We're a family-built business that stands behind our work. So when it's time to replace your roof, don't settle for uncertainty. Choose the local family with a reputation for excellence. Choose the company you can trust. Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit us online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Can't get enough of your favorite fan content? Good news, we're on all the digitals. Follow 971 The Fan on X, Facebook, YouTube, The Talk, and Gram. Your digital home for endless shenanigans. The Fan.
You can stream the game on your phone while you're gardening. You can stream it while you walk the dog. You can stream it at a trampoline park. You can even stream it at a monster truck rally. But the second you get behind the wheel, the game's over. Remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy skies with some peaks of sunshine. Daytime highs soaring into the 70s. We have a chance of showers and thunderstorms late afternoon, early evening, some which could be strong to severe. For tonight, lows down into the 40s with a chance of showers. Otherwise, partly cloudy overnight. Tuesday, we'll see highs only in the 50s with a chance of showers and breezy winds. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Want to jinx your favorite sports team?
Please get out of my Van Halen t-shirt before you jinx the band and they break up.
Just ask Maddie to print your shirts. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
I've carried that burden since August 2014. It's been 11 years, nearly 11 years. I'm not just about winning my next major, but the career Grand Slam, trying to join a group of 5 players to do it, watching a lot of my peers get green jackets in the process. It's been difficult, and I've tried to approach this tournament with the most positive attitude each and every time that I've shown up, and I think just the sort of cumulative experience that I've gained coming back here each and every year, I feel like I get a little more comfortable with the shots needed. I talked about it at the start of the week, but there's talking about it and actually doing it. And yeah, today was difficult. I was unbelievably nervous this morning. It was a heavy weight to carry, and thankfully now I don't have to carry it, and it frees me up. And I know I'm coming back here every year, which is lovely.
He might go full fill now and win a few of them. You never know. I said the other day that when he had the 4-shot lead, if he doesn't seal this one up, he probably never wins it. And if he does and breaks through, we don't, the ceiling, we have no clue now what it is. He's only 35. Guys win this in their 40s a lot. And now he joins that group of Nicholas and Tiger and Hogan and Player and Sarazen. That is as special of a group as you'll ever know. Mm-hmm. And he's in it. And he was going through a separation. He was serving his wife divorce papers less than a year ago. He was caught up in a lot of rumors. We look at these guys, I do, I'll speak for myself, because I've watched them on the range and I've sat there, and you could put out a cocktail napkin 125 yards away and give them 100 balls, and they might have 50 of them all around the cocktail napkin. And so they're the robots. They are. Mm-hmm. They're like, they don't seem human to me, except when they are. When you add the pressure of what he had, how badly he wanted that. When he double bogeyed the first, I said to a guy that I was watching with, 2 things are going to happen. He's going to shoot 80, or he just drained every last nerve out of his body and now he can go play. Mm. And so there's a difference. And some guys are better than this than others from every level. Protecting leads is a different pressure than chasing. It always has been. It always will be. Guys tend to lean into being aggressive when they have leads. I've always been kind of the combo guy of, you got to understand the situation. I had no problem with him hitting a 3-wood off 13 with a 4-shot lead. He doesn't need to bring driver into play, because remember years ago when he was in the trees left of the creek in the jungle, hit a 3-wood, don't get in the pine straw, lay up, get yourself to 82 yards, flip a wedge on there. Worst that happens is you par the hole. Matty, whatever he did, and I even had the transcript here because I was most interested in one thing and one thing only. Not how he blew the lead and not how he got it back, was what in the hell happened at 13 from 82 yards. You can't be anywhere near. You can't be anything right of that pin. Mm-hmm. You can't be. You got to be long and left. They were saying it on the broadcast. Birdie does not matter here. I remember saying as he made the turn with a 4-shot lead, actually, I'm sorry, when he left 12, I said, if his ball stays dry, he wins. I don't care what he does. If the ball stays dry, he wins. And certainly it didn't, and he made double there. So he said at 13, how smart he played it. He goes, I had 82 yards of the pin. It went into a little valley, and it was on the upslope. And usually when I hit wedge shot off upslopes, they come out a little bit left on me. I gave myself like a couple of yards of room to the right. I wasn't aiming at the creek, but it came out, a little weak and a little right, and that was how you make double bogey there when it's a birdie chance. And I don't know, he kind of intimated this after the round. I think winning this way, Matty, will mean more to him than if he coasted to victory and won by 4.
It's the adversity. It's the adversity to check off that ultimate box and get into that elite club that he talked about in the clip and the names that you mentioned. That was special to watch yesterday because you mentioned the boo-boo early, the one at 13, and when he puts that ball in the drink at 13, I thought he was going to fold, AR. I really did because he's had some of that follow him along the way, especially in these big-time moments.
You'd have every reason to believe it.
I thought so.
Yeah.
And you could see it on his face that it shook him. And how could it not? How could it not where he was rolling in this thing? You mentioned the 4-shot lead that he had. He played well all weekend. And those voices in his head, some of them had to be saying, not like this. Not like this. And he found a way to compartmentalize it. And then you get to some of the shots that he hit late. The shot at 15, AR, where that shot tracker's tracing that thing, and you see it bending back left, and he's walking it down, and we get the camera shot of that ball approaching onto the green, and it's feet away from the hole. Like, that to me is what makes professional athletes very special in moments like that where you got to have it. Pressure is through the roof, and not only do you execute, you pretty much execute at the highest level. And Rory did that a couple times on that back nine to bring it home. And the emotion that we saw from him was all of that pressure that he talked about leaving his body. Fell to his knees, saw the tears coming out. It was just, for me, such an enjoyable moment. And that's why I said prior to this thing, I want Rory to win it. I want Rory to win it. We're talking about one of the most talented guys who for the longest time was just not able to get over this hump. And to see him get over the hump the way that he did warmed my heart, and I just loved every single moment for Rory yesterday because he had to earn every single bit of that green jacket.
He is so, in my mind, likable. That's why I defended him so much, and I have defended him. And people don't allow guys like these guys to be human because we think they should be perfect at every moment under pressure. He's faced a lot of it, and I'm not going to deny that he has buckled at the Masters because it is the most famous golf tournament in the world. Yes, I assume winning the Open Championship at the old course is right there. I get it. Even Jack would admit that when he flung that putter in the air. Judge Smale style. But I feel like people were waiting for the train wreck and got it. It derailed, and how he got that back on the tracks to stuff it in at 17, and then to go on and miss that green in regulation at 18, which is hard to do from that distance. You can't miss left there because everything feeds left. You can't. And he just hung it out. And I just think that people don't understand that even these guys trying to seal that up, and that's why they've always said the Masters doesn't start till Sunday on the back nine at Augusta. You don't have to watch a thing until that. Nobody usually runs away and hides. He was trying up 4. I think the other thing that helped him in a weird way is that DeChambeau, who's won majors, was also leaking.
He was all over the place.
That when Rory left 13 at 11, DeChambeau's at 6. He's out of it.
Oberg sliding the other way, too.
Oberg was making a little... Actually, Oberg got to 10 at 15. Oberg was within 1.
Just where he ended, though. He was slipping and sliding.
Triple at 18.
Along, that's what I'm saying.
The triple at 18. But when Rory left 13 after the double, Rose is at 10. And Scheffler's at 8. And Oberg's at 10. Like, it was there to lose. And he wants. And here's the other weird thing. And by the way, the no hole in one, I assume that cashed. I did not see an ace this week. They did not put that pin on Sunday in the normal spot. They took Jack's 50th anniversary of 75, that pin placement, and put it up top on Sunday.
Yeah.
And so we usually get all of that feed on Sunday, the famous Tiger chip, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't get that Sunday. And so he put it right in there. So he missed a couple putts that really could have put it away at the end.
Could have iced it at 18, right? On 18?
Well, the Eagle at 15 he could have had.
That would have done it. But on 18, right, he missed that par?
18 was the par putt from 5 feet out of the bunker.
Created the playoff.
So how he misses that green is anybody's guess, but it's pressure, and it was mounting, and it was the one he had to have, and it was the one everybody said he had to have, and there were a lot of people saying he'll never do it. He's going to choke, and he was choking. There's no denying. You can't miss that green from 82 yards and not think that somehow there was a nervy choke involved. It's the rescuing of the choke that people need to talk about today. That is as hard as winning it. What happens, though, in golf, at any level, once you feel like you've blown it, you really only have one option. What the blank? It doesn't matter anymore. The difference between that and what happened at 11, or at 13 rather, is it still mattered because he was right there. He hadn't blown the tournament. So for him to flip the switch and then ride that roller coaster to go back to a playoff. And by the way, Rose hit first into that green in the playoff. Threw it right over the flag to 12, 13 feet. If Rory misses that green again, then it goes down as a big choke. And the fact that he rescued it, I'm sure this will mean more to him than if he would have won by 4 and coasted to victory. I'm telling you, he's gonna.
This one hits different.
This one is going to mean more that he was counted out before the day. He was counted out leaving the first green. They handed him the green jacket back at 10. He lost the green jacket again at 15. Rescued again at 17. Lost it again at 18, won it again in the playoff. Think about that. That jacket was on and off.
It was earned.
Every time.
It was earned. Speaking of the playoff, I do feel bad for Justin Rose. This is now twice that he's lost. 2017, I believe, was the graphic they put up there to Sergio Garcia. And now, again, he loses in the playoff at the most prestigious tournament the sport has to offer. That, no doubt, has this thing and will haunt him, I'm sure, for a very long time. But it was such an impressive outing. Look, he walks away with $2.2 million. But at the end of the day, Justin Rose has made a ton of money. You lose the Masters twice in a playoff, it's going to haunt anybody.
You know, I heard him after the round, and I think what he can take peace with is that he was nowhere in this. You know what Justin Rose's odds were before Sunday they teed off?
He was in the 100-to-1 club?
Oh, no. Keep going. 250 to 1.
Yeah, listen,
and he was in a playoff.
Big picture. He absolutely surprised a lot of people.
So he came out of nowhere. So he didn't blow the event.
No, he didn't blow the event at all. But I'm just talking
66.
about the pain of losing that way again. When you're knocking on that historic door, that has to be painful. But this is about Rory. 4.2 in the bag for Rory's bank account, 2.2 for Justin Rose. Patrick Reed, he had that eagle in the second, the back nine there. That was a really impressive approach shot. One hopped it in there. And then Scotty, hey, on an off weekend, I'll still take home $1 million. Thanks.
Yeah, listen, the money's unrelatable. This one was so about everything. The beauty of this tournament was, to me, I never thought about money one bit. There wasn't a dime I thought of, but I don't think he was into it. These guys are worth hundreds of millions, and it was about that winning that tournament on Sunday, and he did it. All right, we'll certainly hit a little more of that along the way. We'll come back. Maddie, maybe a mystery injury that could affect the NFL draft. We'll tell you about that in 2 minutes. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Feeling unsure about preparing your roof for spring storms? Newman Roofing is here for you. For over 30 years, we've helped homeowners understand their roof's condition so they can make the best decision for their home. Stop worrying and call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit newmanroofing.com today. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-324-VEIN. That's 614-324-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Spring into savings at Ohio Mulch. Get your mulch as easy as ever. Save $50 on home delivery now through Sunday. All you got to do is visit ohiomulch.com today.
Ohio Mulch, landscape supply.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice on 97.1, The Fan.
Ooh-ah. All right, guys, talking to you, men over 40 especially. Kind of struggling with that low energy, not feeling yourself. Low T Centers testosterone replacement therapy may be the solution. You can get started today. Visit one of their very conveniently located clinics. You can meet a medical provider, get back to feeling your best. So this April only, the consultation is free. And the treatment, they're going to make it just for you. And it's covered by most health insurance. They'll verify that for you. And then you can get treated at a center. You can get treated from home. There's really no reason to wait anymore. Book your appointment now. Do it at lowtcenter.com. That's lowtcenter.com. And just have the power to choose a best path for you. Everybody wants to push things off. This is as easy as it gets. So just get in there, get the free consult. And like I said, if you qualify, the treatment is covered by most major insurance. So it's an affordable way to kind of check your testosterone, kickstart your life, get it back to feeling the way you want it. So don't wait. lowtcenter.com, Low T Center, reinventing men's health care. So you tell me this on the timing of this deal. It feels like out of nowhere that Derek Carr may be having a torn labrum and is threatening his ability to play this season. Seems amazing timing. I'm not saying it's not real. It seems very real. He may not have surgery. He may have surgery. I don't know. But this getting out there does two things for me. It puts these teams, it puts the Saints in a very pressure situation now to make sure they have something at QB. Not that they weren't going to pick a guy anyway, but it also forces them maybe to move up when maybe teams didn't think they'd have to. And I think that there are teams like the Patriots or teams that aren't loaded right now that might be fine with trading down out of number 4. That don't you feel now that the Saints, with this story out there, that the pressure was on them anyway, and they may have traded up anyway. They know more than anybody what's going on. But don't you think that this kind of addresses if the Browns and the Giants both pass on Shedeur, that the Saints have to go up now, that they can't wait to 9, they can't chance it?
You know what's pretty wild to me is that where did this Derek Carr stuff come from? When did this injury happen? Like, that's where I want to start, because I don't remember hearing anything about Derek Carr dealing with a significant shoulder injury this offseason. So I wonder if this happened maybe at one of his own workouts or whatever. This had to blindside the Saints because you got Ian Rappaport reporting a couple days ago that the Saints suddenly have a major quarterback question. Starter Derek Carr is now dealing with a shoulder injury that threatens his availability for this season. He's weighing options, including the possibility of surgery. And so now that you have this thing that shook the room down in New Orleans, you got to start thinking big picture. And that's where you were going. And I think that's the appropriate road to go down. Because Derek Carr was never going to be their long-term answer. He's just not with where he is in age, where he is with his play. And now you're sitting in the 9 hole. And we talked a lot about the teams that are in that top 10 who don't necessarily need a quarterback. Tennessee, Cam Ward's probably going there. Doesn't feel like the Browns are going to take a quarterback. There's a lot of Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter stuff. So between Cleveland and New York at 3, 2 of those slots could be filled by Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter. Then you get to the window of New England that has Drake May, Jacksonville that has Trevor Lawrence. Geno Smith just got a new bag at 6 with the Las Vegas Raiders. The Giants just gave new money to Justin Fields, and Carolina seems like they want to give Bryce Young another crack at it. And there's New Orleans. I hear what you're saying. They may be in a situation to where I don't know how many teams behind them would necessarily want to come all the way up to grab a Shedeur Sanders. They may be in the catbird seat with this.
No, they may be equally like Jackson Dart.
Correct.
And then Sanders is gone, we'll take Dart at 9.
I know Mel Kiper's had Dart mocked to New Orleans a couple of times. And so no matter who they like in this deal, I think they should absolutely walk away with one of those quarterbacks at 9. I would roll with Shedeur.
What if
that would be the guy that I would draft if I were New Orleans, between the two.
And he'll have to be available, which we think he will be.
Yeah, I think he'll be there.
Because if the Giants, doesn't feel like the Browns are going to take him, and it doesn't seem like the Giants would take him. Now, if the Giants do take him at 3, then what becomes very interesting is if this goes the Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Shedeur angle, the Patriots may be too tempted to take Abdul Carter than to trade out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And like to your point, maybe the Saints don't feel they need to get there now because the Patriots aren't taking a quarterback, and you went through who would and who wouldn't. But I wonder if they feel like they got to get their guy, that the Patriots aren't dangling that number 4 out there.
I wouldn't be surprised, but in that scenario you laid out with Mike Vrabel being the head coach over in New England and being a defensive guy, I think he'd be banging the table for Abdul Carter. I think he would be banging the table to have that type of pass rusher get into that building and get busy on Sundays. What also was funny about this deal after we found out the Derek Carr injury stuff was that some of the odds started to shift when it comes to where Shedeur going to go. And a lot of these sportsbooks now have it as New Orleans at 9, which is no surprise. But then you start looking at some of the movement that we saw on social media, and Louis Riddick from ESPN tweets out, that 9th pick going to be all kinds of interesting. That was followed by a quote tweet from one Deion Sanders with the eyeball emojis. So read into that whatever you want, but Papa Prime is publicly playing the game a little bit as well with this possibility of his son going from Colorado to New Orleans. And it may not be the worst thing for Shedeur if you end up in a place like New Orleans who has some decent weaponry. The only question mark they have going on right now is a first-time head coach. Yeah. But other than that, sliding, and I'm using air quotes just a little bit here, to that spot, not the worst thing that could happen to you.
No, that's not even really a slide.
No.
I mean, it's the slide for Shedeur is if he gets past 20. Like if somehow, like now all of a sudden it brings Pittsburgh into play, and we talked about the Rams and some other teams, then all of a sudden, okay, now he's in a little bit of a slide. I mean, the shocker would be if he didn't get drafted in the first round, which I think he will. But yeah, the other quarterbacks are now in play. And these other teams, by the way, that are picking behind them, like the 49ers at 11 and other teams, they want quarterbacks to go. They take as many quarterbacks as possible before us. Because now we got position players that are going to slide.
No doubt.
But if Shedeur slides, then it's just a different story. And if the Bears, who are sitting there at 10, like, what are they going to do?
The Bears have had a good offseason as far as helping out Caleb Williams up front. I think they're in a prime position to take best player available.
Yeah,
either side of the
probably
ball.
Right.
After they addressed a lot of offensive line needs, the weaponry there is still pretty good. Like, I think you could go Ashton Genty, you could go somebody on defense, whatever you want to do to continue your supporting your young quarterback or building up your defense, the Bears, I think, are in prime position to go BPA with the offseason that they've had so far.
Those two teams, the Bears and the Niners, who are picking 10 and 11, would love to see Jackson Dart and Shedeur and Cam go in the top 10. That would be fantastic for them. All right, we'll come back. And we play it on a Monday. Party like a Roth Star. That's next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Whatever you're doing right now, just know that Bo Bishop is enjoying a sip of bourbon. Even if this promo is playing in the morning. No judgment.
Ah, sweet morning drinking.
The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony. Of course, I sit and do the show 3 hours a day. But after that, I'm looking to get things done, enjoy the spring weather. So I want to be on my feet a lot, playing golf, working out, just moving around. I was introduced to the Good Feet store because my feet were aching way too often. And what I found there is a 3-step custom arch support system that has me feeling awesome. My personally fit arch supports have helped realign my feet, reposition my body into a more ideal position, and not only that, strengthen my feet to help support me. It's made all the difference in how I feel every day. The Good Feet store is going to help you where you need relief and find the arch supports that work best for you. And when you wear them as a system, their arch supports are more effective at long-term pain reduction and elimination. So go in, take the free test walk. Good Feet arch supports are immediately available. Their products are proudly made in the USA. They're on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City or at goodfeet.com.
This is This Date in Reds Baseball with team historian Greg Rhodes.
On this date, April 14th, back in 2001 at Synergy Field, Reds first baseman Dimitri Young earned an RBI when he grounded out, scoring 1 run. Well, not much to cheer about, but that turned out to be a record-breaking run that set a National League record. For the Reds, had gone 175 straight games without being shut out. And it was also sweet revenge, for the Reds set the record against the New York Mets and their pitcher, Al Leiter, the exact same team and same pitcher who had last held the Reds to a shutout 2 years before in the wild card playoff game at Synergy at the end of the 1999 season. 175 consecutive games without a shutout, a National League record. This April 11th, 2001, this date in Reds baseball.
This Date in Reds Baseball is brought to you by the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, presented by Dinsmore. Celebrating greatness, preserving history, providing inspiration.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, 3-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, 2-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining Life Search to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to lifesearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. Life Search featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit lifesearch.com today.
Here at The Fan, we give you 14 hours of live and local programming every day. We care about you. We live and work in your community. Except Bo Bishop. He won't tell us where the hell he is. Your live and local station. Except Bo. The Fan.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on retirement contributions. A very handsome reward indeed. With Robinhood Gold, your annual IRA contributions are boosted by 3%. Plus, you also get 4% APY on your cash in non-retirement accounts. That's over 8 times the national savings average. The perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% IRA boost on annual contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rates subject to change. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold at $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Over 8 times the national average savings account interest rate claim is based on data from the FDIC as of November 18th, 2024. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric, and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
Let's all gather into the Kiki. It's time to party like a Roth star.
Oh, indeed. Indeed. Boy, I'll tell you, it's tough not to just throw Rory in there forever now. I mean, that's rare air. We talked about it, Maddie. He was already one of the best to ever pick up a golf club. Did you see Nike's new commercial?
They killed it.
With him watching Tiger and having the posters on the wall and all that.
It's phenomenal.
That's carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. Every trip to Augusta. The only major he didn't have. Came in this year with probably even higher expectations in the way he was playing because he won the Players' Championship. And so it wasn't like he came in with the normal pressure. He came in with he is playing as one of the best in the world. And I said it earlier, I think even more than coasting to a win yesterday, he had to rescue losing it, which I'm sure means even more. The double bogey off the first was the nightmare opening script, but as many golfers will tell you, and I'll tell you, it actually drains the nerves right away. So now you just go, because you've already screwed it up. So you don't feel like, all right, maybe you've already lost it, because you're in protecting a lead mode, and now you're not in protecting anymore. When you're protecting, what does that mean? You're going to be conservative. So when you're not protecting, you're going to kind of swing away. And you saw that shot he hit out of the trees at 7, that he was like, you saw some moments where he was just riding his own emotional roller coaster. Ironically, as soon as he built another lead, the nerves came back at 13. So he had the nerves to start with the lead, lost the lead, nerves go away. Builds a lead, nerves come back. And he played it smart until he kind of decelerated into that creek. And at 13, but no matter how close he was hitting it, the putter was just a bit off yesterday until he stuffed it in the playoff and then cashed in. But since 2014, he's been trying to track down this elusive green jacket. He might win a few now. He was averaging 330 off the tee. That's never been a problem for him. Here's the cool part. He's the first guy to win to seal up the Grand Slam since Tiger did it in 2001. So we're talking 24 years ago. You know that both guys, when they sealed up the Grand Slam, both guys won the Players in a Monday finish. They both did that. They both had won twice that season coming into Augusta.
Wow.
And both completed the Grand Slam. The difference is Tiger was 26 and Rory was 35. As you mentioned earlier, 4.2, no one's going to cry about that. That's a career for most. He got it in the tournament. And Rory Daniel McIlroy is the man. And so glad to see it. Next on the chase list, next on the conquer list is the handshake from Jack on a Sunday.
There you go.
He gets that. Then you got something.
Handshake and a milkshake, baby. First candidate for me this week.
Well, we'll get you the milkshake. The handshake's a little tougher.
We talked about pressure a lot with Rory. You know what else is a pressure-packed situation is when you're drafted second overall in a draft. That's exactly what happened back in 2017 because my Cincinnati Reds, your Cincinnati Reds, the people's Cincinnati Reds, drafted Hunter Greene second overall in 2017. Let me tell you what's happening right before our eyes. We got an ace down in Cincinnati. It's win day every single time Hunter Greene takes the mound. Yesterday afternoon, 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 8 strikeouts for Hunter Greene. This is what type of role he is on right now. The ace for the Reds has become just the 5th pitcher since 1901 with 30-plus strikeouts, fewer than 5 walks, and no more than just 3 runs allowed in 4 appearances of a season. He is so locked in at the moment. He's got a .98 ERA. He's number 1 in Major League Baseball in WHIP. When you just have this type of guy, you dream about getting into the postseason because you know, hey, game number 1, we got a great chance at winning it. He's got a dominant pitch right now outside of his fastball. It's his slider. He's thrown this thing 112 times. Batters are 0 for 29 against his slider. He's the only MLB pitcher in 2025 to throw a pitch 100-plus times without 0 hits allowed. He's got 13 strikeouts with that slider. Hunter Greene, 5th in Major League Baseball in ERA, has not given up an earned run in back-to-back outings. The kid from L.A., Hunter Greene, partying like a Roth star.
All right, I like that one. By the way, Ellie hit a granny on his own bobblehead night. Is that right?
He was awesome.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah, I loved it.
All right, I'm actually going to, since they're both still alive and they're both clawing and scratching, it's the CBJ and the Calgary Flames.
Hey.
These are both these teams were easily in the bottom 5 of any preseason NHL preview that I ever looked at. And they both just refuse to go away. Both leaning on the goalies now. The Flames, Dustin Wolf, a rookie. The guy was the 214th player selected in 2019. I mean, only 3 players were taken lower than him to finish off the 7th round. And it's a great story, man, for Dustin Wolf, because the draft was held in Vancouver. He drove from Everett, Washington, where he's playing junior hockey with the Western Hockey League, the Silver Tips. And then he just waited and waited and waited. You want to talk about a slide? And for a team that's 4-2 in their last 6 games, but points in all 6, the Flames are now 2 back of St. Louis with a game in hand. And they know they got to win out, just like the Jackets. But the fact that we are at this point, and the Flames and Jackets are still alive, and then I want to give it to Jet Greaves.
Mm-hmm.
Just lights out on Saturday. And again on Sunday, he was great. And I wonder what's going on with Elvis, Mr. Undisclosed, at this time of the year. But move over, because this kid's not waiting.
The Jets taking off.
And he's putting, you're putting that goalie in back-to-back. You have to.
Yeah.
He gave up a goal to Ovi in the first 90 seconds of that game. And then he just locked it down. Amazing glove saves on Eller point blank, again on Leonard when I was watching. He's undrafted. And now with the pressure to come up huge with no room for loss, they swept the Caps. This 23-year-old goalie, Jet Greaves, gets his first career shutout. 90 saves in 3 games on 93 shots.
Yeah.
So let's give it to him.
Good stuff.
He's been amazing.
Second candidate for me. The NBA playoffs are set. Play-in tournament starts tomorrow. We had a game between the Clippers and the Warriors yesterday to where the winner of that avoids the play-in. The loser is in the play-in. A big reason why the Los Angeles Clippers are in the first round and get to take on the Denver Nuggets as the 5th seed is because of Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard was on one yesterday to avoid that play-in spot. 33 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, and 3 steals. 13 of 20 from the field, 4 of 8 from 3. In the month of April, Kawhi Leonard is averaging 27 points, 50